Hi, my name is David Weinstein, and I'm a proud member of the Englishtown, New Jersey Letip chapter. And this is a presentation on the 5 things you can do to improve your online marketing right now. Now, folks, before we begin, I'd like to get everyone to get the juices flowing and get you queued up. So I'd like to share a quick brain teaser. Now, if you're listening to this with someone else, please keep your answers to yourself. But by all means, use a calculator, pen and paper, or even your smartphone to add the numbers up. So let's begin. Please think of a number between 2 and 9. It could be 2 or 9, or any number in between. So you should have thought up a single-digit number between 2 and 9, which could be 2 or 9. Now, take that number and multiply it by 9. Now, you should have a double-digit number. If not, double-check your multiplication. Now I want you to take the 2 digits that you've come up with, say it's 43, and I want you to add the numbers together. So if you got 43, you would add 4 plus 3, and you'd have 7. So you should have a single-digit number in your mind. If not, double-check your addition. Now I want you to subtract 5 from that number. You should still have a single-digit number in your mind. If not, please double-check your subtraction. Now I want you to think of the letter that corresponds to that number. A being 1, B being 2, C being 3, etc., etc. So now you should have a letter. I want you to think of the country that begins with that letter. If you haven't thought up a country, please take a few more seconds to do so. And now that you've gotten your country, think of the second letter of that country. Now think of an animal that begins with that second letter. Now, folks, if you've thought up an animal, think of the color of that animal. Now, the problem, of course, is there are no gray elephants in Denmark or octopus in Dominican Republic. If you thought of rats in Argentina, something's off. Double check your math. The moral of the story is if we know where we want to end up, we can always do what? Get a plan to get there. The 5 things you can do to improve your online marketing right now starts with traditional marketing analysis, which is doing a SWOT analysis. Now, in this presentation, we include a very general analysis, a 50,000-foot view of small businesses and what their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are. The purpose of which is so you can take that framework and analyze your own business. The second thing is you could start bleeding and start doing social media marketing. Now, most people think social media, they're instantly afraid. They think they have to come up with a post that, is going to get 15 million views and compete with whatever Taylor Swift tweeted that day. No, quantity is more important than quality. And one thing you could do is find other people and their posts and comment on them. And you could start what? A relationship. So one word of advice, though, it's an old adage. If you want a customer to order, ask for their advice. However, if you want advice, ask for a prospect to be a customer or the sales order, and you're sure to get advice, but not the order. Third thing is to improve your website's search engine optimization. That's what SEO stands for. You do that by having the keywords spread out. You have formative keywords in the beginning paragraph, and you make your site more readable, such as short sentences, and you use transition words. Look at your return on investment. If you've been spending a considerable amount of money and not getting a return, it's time to rethink it or to alter it or make different arrangements. Lastly, join a network marketing group like Letip of Englishtown, which I'm a proud member of. Now, folks, every morning, the slowest gazelle must be able to run faster than the fastest lion, or they won't be there at the end of the day. However, the gazelle could join a herd. Faster gazelle can divert lions from the herd, which they're a part of. Gazelle can eat and drink and sleep while the rest of the herd looks out for predators. More gazelle to look for lions, greater protection in numbers. Gazelle can also blend in with each other, so it's harder to pick off the slower ones. Most of all, the center of the herd can be a respite for slower gazelle. Perhaps they just want a break from the faster lion. And here in Englishtown and Letip, we get strength in numbers. Our members take care of each other. Lions who are using the Super Bowl ads to commoditize our small businesses are fought back by our herding together. The slowest small business need to be faster than the biggest big business. Also, you get your own small business sales force. We share marketing expenses, put more dollars in your pocket, and build long-term relationships. The 50,000 view of your small business, owner professional service. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Let's cover strength first. Number one strength for a small business is their relationships. And not just the relationships with the customers, relationships with your employees, your vendors, your suppliers. For instance, restaurants could band together on a slow Tuesday or Wednesday night, agree to be closed, and give one restaurant, whether it be Chinese, Italian, or Greek, the chance to have exclusivity on that night. As a group, they all do better. So even your competitors can establish relationships that can help outcompete. You have a monopoly in the domain you operate, and a small business typically can make decisions quickly. Our weaknesses are getting business, when we get business outside our current domain of geography, other small businesses can better compete because of their privity to relationships, or big businesses, since the relationship doesn't matter, can come in and take it away. We have to scale up if need be, which can hurt productivity. We have stagnant prices with increasing operating costs, such as rent, health insurance, and housing. A lot of people say, why housing? Well, just look at New York City. A lot of businesses are leaving not because their cost of rent has gone high, but because the employees can't afford to live nearby the office or factory. So they choose to move to the suburbs. Decreasing attention spans. How many channels we have on TV? Over 200. We're ever getting more and more messages. And lastly, millennials and Gen Z are more price sensitive and less loyalty to brands. Relationships mean even less to them. But in strengths and weaknesses, we get opportunity. We can double down and strengthen our relationships. We can discover and learn from other small businesses. We can be a leader in our business. And every week, for 10 minutes, our chapter members are what? Leaders in their small business when they present to the rest of the group. Folks, if you're going to get life-saving surgery, what is the number one thing you're told to do? Get a second opinion. And that's what we can do in Letip. We give each other a second opinion. So opportunities in getting a second opinion, everyone deserves one. Threats. What we're doing is being commoditized. And it doesn't matter whether AI is 50 years away or 10 years away. The perception that what we do is a commodity is becoming more and more prevalent. So we need to be what? We need to be a blank consultant in what we do, whether we make a product or whether we provide a service. Do-it-yourselferism. It's the number one thing on YouTube. A lot of people think they can do it themselves. So that's a threat. And lastly, either the competitor down the street or around the world will lower their prices, which is a threat. So sometimes you just want to go to a place where everyone knows your name. And that's what we're offering at Letip of Englishtown. We have many open categories. We meet every Tuesday from 7 a.m. sharp to 8:30. You don't have to stay there past 8:30, but you might want to. And you can create new strategic partnerships. And you can share marketing costs. If you have any questions, please feel free to call our chapter president, Michael Puccio, And thank you very much for listening to this short presentation.